Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair, extra fruite the brain. You can't move me, the music is man. It's a con job, but it's grand. I'm blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. Even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more, sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me, and just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Unsolicited, and I am Security Boss. Hey, y'all. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Monday. That's what we're going to call it. We got Good Friday. This is Wonderful Monday, Hump Day. Wonderful Monday. I like that. I hope you all are doing well. Thank you for being here. Make sure when you're coming into the live, you're giving me the thumbs up. I appreciate it so much. Listen, guys, I'm not wishing this would happen, but in my town right now, they're calling for a severe thunderstorm, possible tornadoes. So if we should lose connection, if y'all are part of SB Nation, y'all know y'all already got the connection, but y'all might not see me. But just note that it's not my fault, and I'll try to come back, but I'm just letting y'all know. Some things are getting heavy around here, but we're going to continue to do what we do despite all that. And again, I hope everybody's doing well on this Monday. And of course, I want to give you all a shout out, and then we're going to get to the topic. Stephen Day, how are you? What's going on, fam? You know you on the fam faves. You first one in most of the time, and I appreciate you so much. Mr. Long, how are you, sir? I hope you're doing well, and welcome to SB Nation. He's so hopeful. I haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're doing well. You found you a woman yet? We're working on it, right? I know we are. GQ buys properties. Oh, Dawn. You buy my house? We'll talk about it. I'm just kidding. Mr. Scotland, how are you? D. Nicole, it's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a couple days or a couple of lives, but I'm glad you're here. Mr. Steele, it's great to see you. Day B, hey, how are you? Listen, I am so glad that you guys are here. Make sure when you're coming into live, you give me a thumbs up. Candid Ann, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Listen, you know what? Y'all could have been doing anything you wanted to do on a Monday, but y'all decided to come over here and spend it with me. I just had a horrific tornado in the upper Michigan. Listen, they're talking about it now. They're like 50, miles per hour winds, 40 to 50 miles per hour winds, So hopefully it goes to the left and misses us, and we can continue to communicate this night and everything is good and all is well. I hope everybody is well. But when they start doing those constant weather, when they stay on, they're letting you know to take cover. Actually, that was the actual message, but it's not quite in my area, but the news is on and it's saying take cover. So Hakeem, how are you? It's good to see you. T Shaw. Hey, thank you. You like my dude. I had to curl my hair. But anyway, Listen, I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all know we got the announcement. Stacy Rubin, how are you doing? Y'all know tonight we're talking about, should a married man put his purpose before his wife? Should a married man, now listen to what we're saying. Should a married man put his purpose before his wife? But before we get the show started, we're going to bring up the one and only, my co-host, Black Men Unfiltered.
Beloved.
How you doing?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you doing this evening? It is so good and beautiful. It's just so wonderful to be in the presence of great people. And so it's so good to see Security Boss today. You are amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you.
Mr. Boss in the background, how are you today? All right. I put this in the chat, but I want to say it back. Bars. I said, ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering SB Nation. Make sure we respect the host, the beautiful and lovely Security Boss, as well as hit that subscribe button and that like button. Throughout the show, she's going to pause for a moment to make sure to remind you of that. Now we're going to have super chats. Make sure you hit that super chat button, because all of this takes time and effort, and we want to show her our appreciation today. So hit that super chat, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member of SB Nation. Go shopping, because SB Nation got their own store. Let's do this. Get your hats, your shirts, and get everything you need. So not only can you subscribe today, not only can you like today, not only can you send her a little money and put a little money in her pocket today to get her a little frappo or frappe, right? But you can go to the store and you can represent SB Nation at your family reunion, at your bar mitzvahs, at the wake, after the funeral, at the barbecue. You put the hat on, put the SB Nation on. People are going to ask you, what's SB Nation? You say Security Boss, and tell them to go like and subscribe and shop as well. Bam!
You get the boom for that. You get the boom for that. I mean, really, I'm gonna have to start paying you. Wow.
Yeah, I had to. Yeah, come on.
That was outstanding. That really was. I appreciate you so much for that.
Absolutely.
Wow. And y'all, guess what? He didn't tell you about the 5 stars, but when you put that SB Nation, though, you 5-star.
5-star. Bang, 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 bang. Come on now.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you so much, Black Man. Black Man summed all it up. He just took everything I was getting ready to say. He said it.
Yeah,
That's it. I have nothing else to say right now.
Spirit thing.
Black Man, you got it. What else can I say? I'm just gonna sit up here and just. You got it. You took it. That was it.
Come on. Oh, one more thing, guys. One more thing. Before we move forward, so Security Boss is putting the work in so much. Her husband is behind the scenes covering her and putting in the work as well. And I want to give him a shout out, because without him, come on, guys, that's her covering. Come on. She'll get rained on without the man with the covering. So I want to give him a shout out as well. Give people their flowers while they can smell them. Mr. Boss, you are amazing husband, amazing man, and you cover your wife like none other I've seen you in. So I just want to say that to you. And one thing, guys, I want to show you his power. Mr. Boss, let's go ahead and get Security Boss's camera angles real quick. Let's get all of them. Bam, bam, bam. Let me turn my way. Let me see. Go ahead. Bam, bam. Uh-oh. There it is. Yeah.
That right here.
Yeah.
Oh, Black Man, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. That is outstanding. I mean, you did that in that little short period of time. That was outstanding.
Yep.
That was good. I know you've been thinking about that all day, though.
I have.
Just kidding. You have. Listen, thank you so much for that. Listen, guys, when you're coming into live, make sure you're giving us a thumbs up. Bethany, how are you? Rick Judah, good to see you guys. It's amazing to see you. I know y'all coming for that topic. I'm telling y'all. Listen, I got some questions. I'm looking for the men to help me out, help me understand. So therefore, I know if I understand, then there's going to be some other women that actually get it also, because we need some clarity into this situation. So Black Man, I hope you ready for this, but we're going to ask for the chat's help also. But listen, guys, if you all did not see the standard on yesterday, I need for you all to turn your notification bells on. Also turn on all alerts, because I got a lot of messages saying that they did not get alerted about the show. Turn your notification bell on and hit all alerts, because I want you guys to be there. That was the first show of the standard. I think it went outstanding, but it's going to only get better. All right.
Security Boss, also, a lot of people didn't get notifications. I don't know if you knew about it, but there was a glitch with Google, right? So that it affected YouTube as well. And it started canceling out a lot of people's videos, removing their videos and taking their video. Oh, yeah. And so Raw B did an entire live about it. And so you had to go in and tell the people, put your videos back up. So I had to get in the chat. They removed a whole bunch of mine.
They removed your videos?
Yes, they removed them and put them on private. So I had to go and chat with YouTube, and YouTube started putting them back in one at a time. They put them back in, and so yeah, it was a little glitch or something. And now they've added more. Policies now, what you can and cannot do about thumbnails, and you can't use certain thumbnails. The thumbnails have to be what the show is about, and I mean it's all kind of stuff. I'll send it to you though. I'll send it to you.
You know what? Mr. Boss must be all over that because he hadn't said not one word. So he must be, in sync with Google right now, I guess, or whoever, YouTube, because he hadn't said anything. And I know that no one's taking any of our videdos down, but gosh, when did this happen? Was it a particular day?
It was because it was a Sunday, because I think Robbie had no, I'm sorry. It was probably Thursday or Friday, because Robbie had reached out to me and said, hey, I'm gonna do a live about this Google stuff that's happening right now. She did a whole 2-hour live about it. About the policies, about videos being taken down, and then me and Sir Hale got on, and we chatted with. I chatted with YouTube, and I got mine put back up. So,
wow, I had no idea. Thank you for that information. It's time for the news. You bring it to us, because me, I just try not to get myself involved in so many things, but I appreciate that. He's listening, of course, and we haven't had any issues, so we're gonna make
it's fixed now. It's fixed now. They fixed it, so you don't have to worry about it. It's done.
Okay, so I do want to share this because I don't know if you may have been watching Chaotic a couple of days ago. I think it might have been around Thursday also, when some crazy P word came up with the dog and the lady. No. He pulled it up and it was all, They
got him.
They got him. They got him for real, got him. But no, who got him? YouTube didn't get him. He was able to take it down, and I think he deleted the whole live and then started over. As far as I know, he's okay. But yeah, whoever got him, they did. Yeah. I mean, like not for a half a second, for like, because I think everybody's stunned. You're like, what? Wow. Yeah, I know. So be careful. Absolutely. Be careful. All you content creators out here, y'all make the people cam up and back. And if you all don't know them, just graciously say, I can't, go ahead and do your comments in the chat or what have you, because you can't take a chance. And you know what? You're probably still taking a chance because it's probably easy for somebody to hurry up and do something, but at least we'll know who it is and we can, go back and,
Right.
Black Sabbath said, those women without a mop hands coming for Chaotic. Listen.
Yep.
That what they put up there, it was awful. So I don't know. I ain't gonna put that on nobody, but somebody did it. He was very trusting. He was having a good live and everything was going good. And then all of a sudden. So Miss C, how are you? So listen, guys, y'all know how this goes. We're definitely doing super chats tonight, and the $9.99 and up super chat gets the money line song.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So y'all know if it gets intense, if we get a little bothered, we're gonna do the money line. $9.99 and up gets you the money line song. But of course, we appreciate anything that you can give, and we also definitely read the super chats, all of them. And if you know what, I want to apologize to a young man. I don't know when it was, Friday, I totally missed his super chat. Forgive us. Have no idea where it was. Things was getting busy. They were coming in. Praise the Lord. But we did not see it, Mr. Boss. We didn't see it. We apologize. But if you're here today, just come up and remind me, and we're gonna get the money line song, because we definitely missed it, and forgive us for that. Hink, how are you? Salam, how are you doing? Why are you laughing? But anyway, we're gonna get to it again, guys. When you're coming into the live, listen. Come on, y'all. Give us that thumbs up. We got 50 people here in the live, and we only got 23.
Oh, no, that ain't gonna work.
Before we get ready to give y'all this information, this good stuff right here. There's some good information.
You know what, Security Boss? I think it all comes to a point where you have to do something to get something. And so this is what I want to do. The 47 people right now, I know everybody may be busy. You may be looking at Security Boss' beautiful face. You may be looking at this juicy, handsome black man right here. Bam! But what we need to do right now, I want to take a moment. I want to take just a moment of silence for we won't distract y'all. About 10 seconds, a moment of silence for y'all to hit that like button so we can get that likes up to about 49 right now. Let's just have a moment of silence. 10 seconds, Security Boss. Let's go.
Surprise.
Surprise. Let's get these likes up, man. Come on now. We at 50. Let's go.
Let's get them likes up, guys. Listen, thank you so much for being here. Black man, before we get started, do you have anything else, any other news that you want to, Jenny, how are you? Is there any other news that you want to add? Some things we need to know before we jump into the show, because I'm going to tell you why me and Mr. Boss, we actually came up with this topic. But is it anything else we need to share that's going on in the YouTube spaces or either in the news that we need to talk about? Because I appreciate that the one about the YouTube, I didn't know about it, and didn't affect us, but it's good to know things. Right,
it didn't affect a lot of people. So yeah, that was that. We also need to look into, now they're starting to dig into a lot of things as far as Martin Luther King. And the FBI came up with these. For years they watched him and they listened to him. They tapped every room he was in, everywhere he stayed, and so they have a lot of revealing things that they're revealing now. I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing that. I do know why. I think they're trying to discredit him and everything he does, and then they're using certain Black people to do it. And so I think we'll get into that later about the video. But they're using certain people of our own culture to push the narrative. To kill to delete anything that he stood for and wipe away anything that he pushed.
So listen, BCDC said, why y'all close your eyes? It was a moment of silence. Now listen, before we get started, we're gonna go ahead and read Mr. Eugene Steele super chat. He says, in the words of the great Crimson Cure, bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit that button, bam, bam. You gotta thumbs up. All right, I like that. In the words of Crimson Cure, bam, bam, bam. Y'all hit that like button, get those likes up, and we appreciate it so much when you do it. But we still got 50 people in here, and I don't know what's going on. Listen, guys, y'all gonna enjoy the show. You should already love and enjoy what you're getting right now. But I just need y'all to hit that thumbs up. It's for free. And then I do want you all to stay tuned and definitely enjoy the show. But we're going to go ahead and get into it. But this is where this comes from. On Saturday, guess what? I done had my women jump out and jump all down my neck for something I said over on Instagram.
Come on now.
So I was invited over to Kosher Connections channel and platform, and now then I got the men all down my neck too over there. So I'm an equal opportunity. I'm an equal opportunities over here. Listen, I get it both ways, but either way, we appreciate them all, and I'm sure the hate means something. That means I'm saying something correct, or is it
yes,
into those sores so much that you feel like you got to fight back? You don't have to fight me.
Yeah.
But okay, if you want to use me, go ahead and use me, because again, like you said earlier, I have a covering. He's here, he's listening, so I'm good. But it led me to ask this question because there was a little bit of when I was giving my order, I give my order: God, man, woman, children. Mm-hmm. And I always start with, I'm all about, my husband and I built our marriage on godly principles. And most people understand and know what that means. And I hope I hope that's pretty clear. Godly principles, basically the Bible, okay. But I noticed on that show the other day that when Kosher was explaining his order, and it could be just not a play on word, but just his interpretation. So this is where I kind of need help. He actually said God, the man, purpose, the woman, and then the children. Now, it could have just been a play on words because I feel like the men, this is my feeling, the man and purpose are one. But, I need you men to help me out if you all feel like that's a separate entity of yourself. Because we use the example of Adam in the garden. God gave Adam the garden as his purpose, told him what to do, name everybody and all that. And he did all of that before he gave him Eve. So his purpose was basically fulfilled. When I say basically fulfilled, it didn't mean his job was done. Mm-hmm. He actually knew what he was responsible for. Can we agree on that?
I agree.
And then he didn't look, he was a little lonely. So God said, let me give you something else. And he gave him a helpmeet, and that was Eve. Now I foresee that to be exactly the way we should enter our marriage relationships. I don't see that should be hard to do, but we don't necessarily have to follow that plan. But that would be the most intentional plan, probably the best plan for us. And we could ease into our relationships probably with the least amount of pushback if we were to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Agree?
I agree.
Even though, we didn't do, my husband and I didn't do that way per se, meaning my husband was on his purpose. I tell everybody, my husband knew who he was, knew what he wanted to do. He was on his purpose, but was he actually clothed in it when he met me? No, he was not. But we couldn't tell him who he was or who he wasn't going to be. He already knew.
Right.
Then he found me. We got married, but I was his second wife. So there was some disorder or out of order going on. But anyway, was determined to get it right. So my question is to you is tonight's topic. Should a married man, that's somebody that's already married, put his purpose before his wife? What do you think? I
think that this is a tough one because a lot of men do say you have to have everything together. I think it's one of those things that back in the day when grandma got married, back in the day when security boss got married, women were more understanding that, you know what, it's going to take me and you both to build this foundation and to build this home, to build this life, to raise our children, to do what it is that we need to do. And so you saw a lot of men out living their purpose, even with the thumbnail tonight with Martin Luther King. Coretta knew that he had a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And when she knew what his purpose was, she followed the vision of his purpose without pushback. Exactly. And most of the times, Martin would be in places where she knew that he could get deleted. Martin got stabbed. Martin got cursed at, spit on, attacked by dogs, locked up in jails. And even though she knew that that was dangerous, she knew that that was the purpose that God had for him. I think a lot of times God gives man purpose, and man starts to live that purpose. And sometimes he doesn't even know it. It's just God leading him in his purpose. And then when he realizes it, it may be in the middle of his marriage. He may not get it. His helpmeet may be a part of the purpose. So we're waiting to live our purpose. But what if our purpose is with our wife? Right? Do you think Martin could have done everything he done without Coretta?
Absolutely not. And then you just hit on it, because I think some men's purpose is to be a husband.
Right.
So often we hear, and you can help me because you're in more men's spaces than I am.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We often hear that men need to be, the way I hear it, and I could be listening incorrectly, my ears sometimes, men need to have basically position themselves in their purpose before they find a wife, which would seem like something with ease. It seemed like it would be an easy transition.
Right.
But is that true?
No.
You just gave a million examples of how it didn't work that way. I can give you an example how it didn't work that way, but still my husband knew who he was. His purpose in life was already established for him. But again, he wasn't a six-figure guy. I say it all the time. My husband and I came into a relationship. We had jobs, but he knew who he was. And with me, I became an asset of his. He actually gave me the vision. I was a worker. I was a worker because I saw mother and father have good jobs in big industries, school system, Duke Energy. So having a good job, good paying job with benefits I was good,
Right.
So my husband gave me the vision that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're together working in his purpose. And of course we had no issues, but if it goes that way, should he put his purpose before his wife?
Right. Well, sometimes when you focus on one thing too much, you start to not forget, but not put as much time into the other. And so it's like children. If you have a child that's a little bit worse than the other children, and you focus all your attention on making this child become the best young man or best young woman that she can be, and you got 4 other children, if you put all the focus here, you're going to miss something with the other. You're going to miss something there with the other children. And so what I mean by that is, when men have purpose, yes, men have your purpose. Yes, I think God has a purpose for every walking man on this planet.
Absolutely.
But there is a purpose, and we can't, and I'm not going to put all men in a box. Maybe God may have a plan for your life. That's why it's so important to have a relationship with God, because the relationship with God will show you things. God will put things in your path to show you what path to take. And so sometimes God may say, you know what? I need you to have your purpose before marriage. So let me put you on this road to getting your purpose, because when your wife comes, then she'll have a reason to join that purpose. But then in some men, God may say, you know what, I have a purpose for your life, but until I let you meet security boss, that purpose cannot be developed. That purpose cannot be built. So when security boss comes, security boss opinions and ideas may be the very thing that get you to the top where you need to be. So we have to listen to God in these areas. That's why I said it's so deep and it can be confusing. We have to listen to God. We have to, hey, God may want me to have purpose first, but secondly, he may want me to have my wife first. My children may put me in my purpose. My children may motivate me a little bit more. Right? My wife may have an idea that I did not have that make this thing blow up.
Absolutely. That was good. Because listen, let's read this super chat first, but we're gonna hold that thought. But I want to read Mr. Eugene's super chat, and we're gonna do this money line song. But he says, and this is important because he's defining or giving purpose a meaning.
Absolutely.
Man is on his purpose, meaning he keeps himself up, takes care of himself, takes care of a business, and have resources. So now the man gets married. His family becomes a part of the purpose. You're exactly right, but the wife is right underneath him, and she then becomes his asset. I like that. You get the money line song.
Money line, I'm a running every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'm a run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, so often lately I'm hearing and feeling is like in the conversations I'm feeling and hearing that women are such a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
they can be.
I guess they can be.
The wrong one.
That's interesting. And the reason why I'm saying that is because my husband will tell you several times over and over again that I became an asset to him. And I'm often wondering, is this men are so focused on their purpose, are they missing the purpose of the wife? Because when he realized that, you know what, why would I pay somebody to do this? My wife is better at this and this and this and that.
Right.
So,
exactly.
You know, now what? But he honestly, in the beginning, he honestly told me, well, I had my purpose and this was mine. This is my business. I wanted it for me. You know, that was that selfish mindset. Remember, I speak of this often. But then when he was humble enough and realized what was going on, the doors open. So I'm saying to men, your wife may not be a distraction. And if you on your purpose and you already found a wife and you're on your purpose, maybe you need to, I would think it's a must that you embrace her and make her a part of that purpose. If not, I feel like there will be a whole lot of growing pains and a whole lot of problems that you could have that you may not necessarily have if you could do that.
Right. And that's why I said the wrong woman, because the wrong woman would be a distraction. Right. And let me give you an example.
Any woman can be a distraction if you make her one.
Right. If you make her one. Exactly. And so what I want to say was, we know about the book of Job, right? Job had a purpose, right? I'm going to take my covering off of him. Satan, you can do whatever you want to do with him. You can't turn him against me. And so Job had a purpose. He had a purpose to live in the hell that he endured. And at the end, he was blessed more than he was. But what Job figured out is that his wife was not a part of that purpose, because his wife came and told him, hey, listen, why are you dealing with this? Just cuss him out and die. You ain't got to deal with God no more. What are you even talking about right now? Man, listen, cuss him out so we can go and have some fun and do something, and so he knew right then, that wife was not a part of his purpose. So when God removed that wife, and now Job started over, and now Job knew his purpose. He knew that I got everything back and God cleaned everything up, but she was a distraction. So a good one. So any man, like I said, like you said, I agree. Any woman can be a distraction if a man makes her one. But if a man is on his purpose, she can also be a distraction that pulls him from his purpose as well.
See, I don't think about women being bad distractions. So I don't because I'm always thinking that the man chose well. I'm always giving him that 100% that he chose well, because, not many women gonna be wives. So if a man finally gets to the point where he chooses a woman, he said, E-Man, how are you? I've been asking about you. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here. We haven't seen E-Man in a while. I'm glad to see you though.
A
But-
PSA for E-Man. E-Man, go ahead and cash out me my money for the game last night. I just wanted to put that out there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all we need for you right now, and then you can disappear. I'm just kidding. E-Man, we glad to see you. We glad to see you. I asked about you. I'm just kidding. I'm glad to see you. But so listen, we're gonna have to. Okay, so tell me again. Let's say it again then. So again, the order that men have taken on would be God, man, purpose, then woman. That's what. Now I have never heard purpose in the lineup of marriage from the Bible, but I'm asking: is this a mindset, or is this a real thing? I mean, is that the thought process?
Right. Well, I think I would diddle down it with it for just a little bit. I think I would change it. I think I would mix that thing up a little bit. I think I would do God, man with a purpose.
Yeah.
Why? Right? Because again, like I said again, it goes back to God created man. He gave man a purpose. He gave man rule over everything, rule over the land, rule over the animals.
Absolutely.
So he had already gave him purpose to rule. So why would he have to wait? I mean, why would he have to? He had all of that. God has already, that's what I'm saying. God premeditated and said, you know what? Man, black man, he has a purpose. And I'm going to give him his purpose. And black man, he's going to have in his purpose, I'm going to give it to him before he gets married, because he's going to have to lead his wife in that purpose. But on the other hand, what if it was the other way? That's why I say it can go both ways. You know what? I'm looking down at black man. Black man, he's doing great. He has all the ingredients to be wonderful. But when I get him this wife, she's going to come in as an asset and going to add to that vision. And that thing's going to blow up like it never has before. And so it can go both ways.
So let me ask you something. Well, okay, you're exactly right. And I agree with that. I think that's of course, that's how it happened in my life. But I'm just wanting to make sure, because so often the message is, because, now we're making sure that men are on their purpose and they're preparing themselves for a wife. But I have heard, the things I was hearing is like, wait a minute. Why is the wife such a distraction? I understand you said that, Job's wife was a distraction. I'm gonna have to go see what the distraction was. I get what you're saying, but I think for me that would be he had a different calling on his life that was from the initial calling. Because sometimes God calls you out in the things you have to do. Right. Now she was disobedient and rebelled, but she still was his wife. So because what was said, but some of the things that were being said is, I don't have time to pour into a wife. I don't have time to be one with a woman. Your wife. And I'm thinking that's a big deal, because my marriage relationship is one of the most important relationships in my life, right? And it's gonna be forever.
Dearly beloved.
And the message, and you know this for sure, the message that's out there now, it's not forever. It's not forever.
No.
At all. People are, if they get married, they're getting married to get divorced. Right. They can't even foresee forever. And I'm trying to say, why can't you see forever? Why even bother to be married if you can't see forever? Understand, marriage is marriage. It's not just a union. It's just not your girlfriend that you love and decide to marry. This is a different thing. Don't bother marriage, because marriage hasn't changed and you're not going to change it. Right. It's supposed to change you.
This is the truth. This is the truth. A lot of people, we live by Bible purposes. We live by scripture and what God says, right?
Yeah.
But today we've been given so many outside options outside of what God is, that that people are starting to conflate between what God says and what they believe. And so a person can sit in the kitchen while they're eating their food and say, I know God said this, but this is for me. And so they'll come up with this narrative and say, you know what? Before I get my woman, I need to have $1 million. Before I get with my woman, I need this. Before I get with my woman, I need this. I need this. I need this. Before I get with my woman, I need this. But God is all about building, right? He created Adam and gave Adam purpose. And then after he gave Adam purpose, he said, go to sleep, Adam. Eve, come here.
Yeah.
Here comes Eve, right?
Yeah.
And so there was not a distraction until Eve came. Watch this. That was not a distraction because Adam was handling his business. But watch this. Adam was so focused on his purpose, he couldn't see Satan over there trying to trick his wife. Ooh. So what happened?
Go ahead.
He was right there. And he asked him, where were you at? when Satan came to do this with your wife, where were you doing? Where were you at? Because his purpose was his wife. His purpose was to be with his wife. And I know all this ain't gonna be sexy.
Brackman, I don't agree with you. His
Go ahead.
purpose was what God had already given him to do.
Exactly.
It was to have dominion over everything.
Right. But
But for
said-
whatever reason, he left her uncovered for a time.
Right. That's what I was.
I got you. I'm with
That's
you.
my bad. I'm on the focus part. My bad. I said it wrong. The focus part. When, like you said earlier, about sometimes we can focus on one thing too much that we forget to focus on our wife. And so basically, he didn't focus. He had dominion over everything, but he wasn't focused on everything. Right. And so she was right there being tempted, and he was over there just chilling. Right. And so that's what happened to her. So we have to have a foundation of what we believe, or we're gonna be all over the place.
Well, that's what you got. We're all over the place. We don't have that foundation. Well, that brings me to a good question. Do you think marriage relationships can actually work without the godly foundation?
No, because they don't sit on anything. They don't have a foundation. They don't have a structure. What do you believe in? Right.
Now, you just said a whole lot. You know that, don't you?
Yeah. And that's why I say to certain people that allow you to talk to them, oh, I got this. I don't have to go to church. I don't have to have no foundation. I don't have to believe in God to have no good marriage. Okay. So how are you going to trust you to get you out of what you got you into?
Well, let's go even further. Why are you talking about tradition? What is the tradition?
Right.
What tradition are you speaking of? Tell me what's traditional for you if you have no foundation. What's traditional?
Right.
What is submissive?
We submit to every.
What is love?
Right. We submit to everything. Right. When they told us when this stuff happened in the world, we know I ain't gonna say it because I don't want nobody on the algorithms. But this thing happened where everybody can catch it. Right. For the last 2 years,
right.
We submitted to the CDC when the CDC said everybody need to put a mask on. Everybody submitted to that. Some people did not, but everybody submitted to that. Some people, even when we were, they told you that your kids have to go to school. You submitted to that and had your kid do all this. You didn't ask what was in it. You didn't ask what it was about. When you go to your job, they say, hey, listen, you can't wear this. You can't wear this. You can't wear shirts with holes in them. You can't wear jeans with holes in them. You submit to that corporation. But then when you get home to your husband, what am I submitting to?
Oh, that means you left something out in the street. You know what? This SB Nation over here, they got it. Everybody. How you gonna, why is everyone everywhere I go, I see Kevin Samuels. What T Shaw is saying. I see Kevin Samuels and people.
People.
That gravy train is over. Listen. I'm wondering, this is a conversation that needs to be had because I really think people can think they can get this done without having a foundation. Now, I'm always talking about foundation. I don't talk about church. I'm talking about foundation. Atheist marriages are pure chaos. I've
interrogated. What did you say? Hold on.
You see it because
I've interrogated people who live differently, and they there it is, and they can't provide a description of their core values. Okay, imagine if we were atheists. If I was an atheist, my wife's an atheist, and I go out and cheat. And when I go out and cheat, she said, "Why did you do that? You're wrong." Whoa! You can't tell me I'm wrong. We don't believe in that.
We don't believe that it's wrong. But let me say something.
You see what I'm saying?
But wait a minute. You got this thing now going on that marriage is solely business.
Oh yeah.
And in business, we have agreements, we have contracts, everything is contractual.
Yeah.
And as long as you follow the agreements and the consideration that has been put forth in that contract, then we're gonna be good.
Yep.
What you think? Only thing I can say is businesses go bankrupt.
They go belly up.
The partners be corrupt.
Yep.
And cheat on each other. They steal money. And guess what? It's all done in the confinements of that business arrangement and agreement.
And then the divorce comes where the partner tries to buy you out and get you out of the whole business completely.
Right. And then you don't want to split the money though, because they messed up.
Right.
How about that? So that's interesting. Because see, when I speak about marriage, I'm talking about the godly foundation, the one that the vows that we sit up, we make, and the things that we say. So I'm not talking about some sort of union, and I'm calling it a marriage that I'm not willing to bring in the principles into it. So that is a big deal. That's a very big deal because you're giving me a better understanding to where the problems are. Because see, my marriage is forever. Other people's business agreements or business arrangements or contracts may not be. So I can see why things fall apart and why they can't see past next Friday. You know, I can see that.
Yep.
So, but some think that your purpose is directly tied into the job that you have, directly tied into how much money you have, directly tied into that contract that you make and those agreements. Y'all, it's so much deeper than that. So when I say I'm becoming one with my husband and I'm working at this every single day, I'm reading books to get to know him. This is real, y'all. It's not fake. Yep. I'm really telling you what needs to happen in order for you to have a long-term marriage relationship where you can be one with an individual for 20 plus years. So, hey, Bolo, how are you?
Bolo, my guy, what's going on, man?
So, Black man, what do you think? I mean, what do we do? Do we say anything? Is it just like you just said? We can sit down at the table and say, this is supposed to be this way, but I'm going to do it this way. And we on Locke said, we're going to have to agree to disagree. I don't know what he's talking about, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are choosing to live their life any way they want, and we can't do nothing about it. We can't. But I really hate that we're doing it all in the name of marriage when it really isn't.
Right.
You're trying to spoil the marriage.
Right.
And marriage. Go ahead.
And to each its own. If you say, you know what, I don't believe in biblical principles, I don't believe in any of that, that is your choice. You live in a world where there's free will to do whatever you want. However, you can't say, I want this type of lifestyle, and then go and say, girl, I'm about to have the best wedding ever. I'm about to get married, because marriage is under that biblical principle. And so you may need to rename it. Maybe you need to call it. Yeah, you may need to call it linking or
linking. No, you didn't.
Or something else, because
call it the hookup.
Yeah, the hookup or the cuckabug. I don't know.
No, listen, Black man, I'm identifying it as a partnership. We're gonna identify it as a partnership.
Yeah. So I mean,
I just saw a comment I was going to read, and I think it was from Therapeutic. What was it? Wisdom. She says, your purpose to be a good human being, to love everyone. Many religious folks did not follow the only commandment given by God. It is a huge issue. This is a huge issue, but it's one that doesn't apply. I'm gonna tell you why. Because there are good people and there are bad people. Yep. There is evil and there is good, and that's not going to change.
Yep.
And marriage is not going to change either. And it's always what you make it. But you got to make a decision if you want to do it based on what it is, or are you trying to create something on your own? Because I notice I get huge pushback when I share what I have. No, y'all ain't doing that. A man got to be on his purpose. He ain't got time to be sitting up in the house talking to you. I'm like, what? Why does a man got to sit? Why does my husband got to sit up in the house and talk to me? But then I think about it and I'll be like, you know what? Maybe you did say something, because my husband was so purposeful, and he has planned out our life so well that he actually has the ability to sit up in the house and talk to me if he wants to, because he doesn't have to be out working 80 hours a week. So I'm like, I'm gonna consider that a blessing. I'm gonna accept that.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to hurt me with the statement. You were trying to debunk what I'm saying. But the reality of it is, maybe you're right. But he doesn't have to do that, because I'm one of them willing participants. I'm a willing participant. Whatever, if I see, like I said, I can't say it so I can listen, guys, ladies. I was a worker. I was the worker. I saw benefits, good jobs, high paying jobs. You work there a long time. You get your IRA, you get your money markets, you get all of that. That's who I was. That's all I knew. That's my mom and my dad. My husband was the entrepreneur coming in the door. He was the man with the dreams. He was the man that says, we are not going to be average. It's not going to be that way.
Right.
Now, do you know how scary that is for a woman? Can you imagine? Because if y'all don't know, entrepreneurs don't have no money until they have it.
Mm.
Y'all know that, right? Because you don't get the paycheck. You know, I know that the big C made everything real for people, because you show up to work the next day and you don't have no job and you don't get no paycheck no more. But you know, there's really some people out there that really think that no matter what, you're gonna get a paycheck because you worked. I'm here to tell you that's not real, guys. You can work all your life, and if the employer decides not to pay you, they don't have to pay you. Now,
Right.
what you gonna do? It's happened in these latter years. It's happened. People been shutting the doors. You could work all week. They shut the doors. And you know what? I'm going to tell you a little story. And it's a crazy story, but it brings me to this. I was doing my home office years ago. This has been some years back. And, you know, I'm telling you this because I didn't think things happen. I was one of those people that felt like I do this, then this is going to happen. I pay for something, then it's going to be delivered. So I bought, office furniture. Me and Mr. Boss bought office furniture from a store called Storehouse. I don't know if y'all remember it or not, but it was called Storehouse many years ago. And I did the dumbest thing, but I thought I was doing the right thing. We went there on a Friday night to buy the furniture. And I gave the young lady a check for the furniture. And then as soon as I gave it to her, she rung up. She said, "Oh, wow, I overcharged you. Let me give you your money back. Or you want to write another check over, or I will just refund it or whatever." I said, "No, don't even worry about it. Just send it to me." I wasn't even thinking about, because it was going to be a hassle to refund a check. It was a big deal. It wasn't simple. So I was like, just send it to me. It's no big deal. You know, it was only like maybe $150. It wasn't a whole lot of money, right? Because I could have said, cancel the sale, void it out, do it over. But I just didn't do it. I was fine with whatever she told me. I was fine with it. Y'all, a week went by, I didn't get my money. 2 weeks went by, I didn't get my money. 3 weeks, I didn't get my money. So then I'm thinking, hey, don't they owe us some money? You know, well, where's my money? So I finally got a notice from them to call a number. I called the number, and the number said, we just filed bankruptcy on the day before. And in order for you to retrieve your money, you must file a claim against this bankruptcy chapter 11 bankruptcy and wait the term. Those people took my money. And do you know, they took people's money and did not deliver the furniture. Did you just hear what I said? I was just so off. I just was so off. I couldn't wrap my head around what was going on. I was a consumer. I went to buy furniture. I overpaid. Listen, if nobody else was a victim, I was a victim. I was a true victim. I could not believe what I was hearing. I was like, wait a minute. So many people. They locked the doors. Y'all, they might as well just slam the door in our face, took our money, and kept the furniture.
They kept your furniture?
Yeah, just in case you didn't know, because I didn't know.
Oh, hell no.
No. When businesses go bankrupt, no, it stops. Everything stops. They no longer owe you anything. You must file your claim with the Chapter 11, I think it was, and you have to wait for them to receive all money and for all bills, whatever, to be paid to see if you get whatever it is you were supposed to get. Now, I was a small little tulip in the thing. I'm talking about house full of furniture. These people invested lots of money. I was small. I was 150 out in a small desk or something. You know, I'm talking millions of dollars that these people lost, that these people closed the door on them and said, you don't get anything. Then years went by and it was like, oh, now you have a class action law. You know what? I forgot to tell you what they did too. They sent me a check. I went to the bank to cash that check. Guess what? I forgot to tell. I didn't tell the story right, y'all. It's been so long. This is how I knew what happened. They sent me a check. They finally sent the check. I went to the bank. The bank said, this check ain't no good. I thought I had lost my mind right then. I was like, okay, this huge company is sending me a check and it's not any good. So that's what made me, and they said, call the number. So that's what made me inquire about it. That's how it happened. It blew my mind because I always thought if I do this and I'm doing the right thing, then the right thing is going to come to me. I had no idea that a establishment so large could close down and just say, you know what, You just a victim. Go on about your way. I ain't got nothing else for you. They had police officers all around the building. Yeah, because now people are finding out that they just been duped. And it's a hard pill to swallow when you done put out thousands of dollars. And now you realize that, wow, you really out of it and you have nothing. It's nothing you can do.
Right. And it's hard for the police officer to sit there and protect the building that broke the law. Well, not broke the law, but they did it.
They didn't.
Right. They didn't. Damn.
And he's so hopeful. There's nothing you can do. You can't sue a company that is going into bankruptcy.
That's broke. Yeah.
You have to file your claim within the claims of it. In other words, you are a debtor now. They're indebted to you.
Right.
You got to go through and file just like anybody else would. And so whatever money they have, it dwindles. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ever file bankruptcy, you might have somebody might owe somebody $1,000. They may get 300. It goes to all these people that they owe, and then you get what you got. So let me tell you, long story short, I think they sent us a check for about 50 cents. 50 cents. And we were even. It was done.
Wow.
And it was nothing. Y'all don't understand. It was so hard for me to wrap my head around what was going on. I needed somebody to talk to me. Mr. Balls was like, what is going on? Calm down. I was like, I'm not understanding. He was like, just calm down. Let's just play it back, because she took my money. You know what I'm saying? She took my money because she made a mistake, and then they end up taking it. So I didn't get the mistake back, nor the money I put in, nor the stuff that I bought. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh,
so
that's crazy.
No, but this is what's real. This is what I'm talking about. I did nothing wrong, but this is what I got out of it. So when you say we're making up stuff, when you say that they're making up the marriage relationship, or they got these contracts, like we were talking about the marriage contract, because I hear so often marriage is a business. I just showed you how business can do you.
Yep.
So I know why we want prenups. I understand it completely, because that's the mindset that we took into the business. But I was so devastated. I didn't know what to do. But you know what? I learned, and I'm sharing it with you all. Now, again, I hope this never happens to anybody else, but it happened. It was real, and nobody had nothing for me. Nobody had nothing for us but a check for 50 cents. And I think I still have it. I do.
Wow. And you know what? Ooh, that is crazy. And it's I can let me add a little bit on to that. It's like Texas as well. In Texas, you can go to work. You can work hard, and you can have a relationship with the company that you work for, but it's an at-will state, and at any moment they can come in and let you go without cause. That they don't have to tell you anything. All they can do is walk up to you and say, "Security boss, get your things." They don't have to explain anything to you. Just let you go at will. And that's what marriage is like today.
My city is like that too. My state is that way too. It's at will. I have an agreement that I have all our employees sign that it's at will, and this is not contractual. I don't owe you anything. I'm sorry to say it, but it's a state law. It is. It's a labor law. It's just like that here in this state also.
Yep.
But listen, guys, make sure you're getting the likes up. We appreciate it. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up when you're coming into the live, and we definitely appreciate it. We were just sharing stories. We're here at the topic. Should a married man put his purpose before his wife? And this is what we're talking about, because marriage is trying to be redefined, and now it's being redefined somewhat as a business. And I was just sharing with Black Man how a business broke down. That agreement that we had broke down. Now, I think Miss C was the one. She said they shouldn't have taken your money knowing that they were going to go into bankruptcy. Let me tell you a little bit about that. We're going to go on. Y'all heard enough of my crazy stories, but I have a lot of them. Lower level, meaning the people that are in the stores that work had no idea they were going to lose their job in a week. They had no idea. They had no idea they was going to go they didn't know they were going to have 2 more weeks with the police sent around in the building. They had no idea they were going to meet all these crazy people. They had no idea. Upper level knew, but the lower level did not. So I'm pretty sure that the girl who did make the mistake, she was devastated. She was actually devastated because she did take my money, and she did not know, and she could not give it back, y'all. They had all kind of security and police officers around these people, making sure. that they did not give stuff away and did not give it back, because the part I didn't tell y'all was that once they did find out, of course, y'all seen this before, these closeout sales happen. So they get everything that was in the store at this point became 50% off, 60% off, and 70% off.
Yeah, liquidation.
They were liquidating, yes, to get as much money as they could. So they were watching them, making sure that they didn't give the stuff away. Because, you know, there were people piled up everywhere because it was like such devastation. Like, are you saying that my house, all the furniture, all the $2,000 and $3,000, my couch and all, you're not getting it. You're not getting it. It was crazy. I have never experienced anything like that, but you know, you live and you learn.
Yeah,
but again,
somebody had a question for me, security boss. Did you see it?
You come on now. You know, I didn't see it.
I think it was T. Shaw. I saw black man, and it was something, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there it is. She said, black man is a wife that feels she is being neglected because her husband works too much, considered a distraction. Well, again, going back, I'll use Coretta and Martin again, since they're on the thumbnail. Martin had a purpose. Coretta knew what that purpose was. She knew it would be time consuming, so she was understanding to her husband's purpose. So sometimes when you and your husband are on the same page and he has a vision and he has a purpose and you understand what that purpose is, then you understand the sacrifice that comes with that. And so what Coretta did, Coretta knew, okay, my husband got to go to Alabama for 5 days. Okay. But when he gets home, we're going to make the best of when I see my man, because I know he's living in his purpose. I'm supporting his purpose. So I don't think that you would be considered a distraction when you're falling in line on what God's plan is for your husband.
Oh, you a nice black man. T-Shaw, you're absolutely a distraction. Absolutely. Absolutely. If my man is out here trying to get the bag, and I understand, and we becoming one, and I'm reading books to figure out what kind of man he is, and I'm talking about, oh, you neglecting me, you are definitely a distraction. You are. I hate to say it because you know I love you, but you are a distraction. You are. You better go find you some projects to work on. You better figure out how you fit into that plan. If you got to go, listen, Martin, do I need to fix some sandwiches for you and the boys? Whatever it is, you got to do it. Do I need to learn the business? What part can I play in this? No, you a distraction. If you sitting back talking about you neglected, y'all, we got to stop with this, because guess what? On the other side of this is good life. It's good life. It's good living. My husband did make me a part. Okay, y'all, I was not a part from the beginning because he was being selfish. He wanted to have it all to himself. He wanted to have that achievement as an entrepreneur in a successful business on his own. But guess what, guys? God had another plan. He also wanted a wife. And I guess God was sitting back saying, you know what, brother, you can't do both. Not like this. So if I give you this wife, because that's what you said you prayed for, you already know what you want to be. So you're going to have to incorporate her into that plan, because you know what kind of woman I'm going to send you. And that is exactly what happened. But if I would have been sitting back talking about I'm a distraction, because guess what else was going on at the same time? Let me tell you something. If you could be that sacrificial to your husband and his purpose, he would give you your own purpose, which was for me selling houses. I made so much money, y'all. So much money. But guess what I did? I gave it to my husband. Because his business was the plan. Real estate was just something that we were doing. I hate to say it, y'all, but it was true. Real estate was something we fell into. We bought a couple of houses, and it was so amazing how the people, when we were fixing up these houses that we bought little houses as investments. This is true stories. It was so many people that came by asking and inquiring about these houses for their daughters, their grandmas, their this and their that. I was like, you know what? My husband was like, listen, I hate that they walking away. You might need to get your license, because them could be other customers. Now, guess what? I did it. And I think it took me, y'all, about 90 days. I got my license. I was working. We sold out a whole community, I should say. I want to say a whole neighborhood, but I want to say the whole west side of a city. We sold it out, my husband and I. We sold it out because it started with us with investment process. There was so many people. Because let me tell you something. When there are people who know that they can't have home ownership, and you make sure that they get it, oh, guess what? You got a mouthpiece for life.
Yep.
For life, because they didn't know. And these were our people. They didn't know that they could have ownership. And then they realized I can have ownership from less than I'm renting this house, and I can stay right here and I can do this. So guess what? I was able, God put me in a position to bless those people with that home ownership. I had mouthpieces. I sold a whole west side of a city Y'all, the whole west side of the city. I can't even tell y'all how many houses I sold. I can't even tell y'all. It was amazing. It was crazy. And it all started because we got some investments. We were fixing up a couple of houses, small houses, y'all, no more than 900 square feet houses. And that turned it around. But then it enabled us to pour into my husband's business the way it needed to be done. And that's what brings us to today. And I might sell 1 or 2 houses a year now. And of course you have to go to class and all that stuff. But
so let me ask you this. For the women, because T-Shaw just came back and she said, SB, I'm the wife that supports my husband, but I know wives that complain about feeling neglected. I want you guys to help those wives in case they're watching. Watch this. There's nothing worse than a man that has a purpose. Say, for instance, let's use YouTube, for instance. If a man has a purpose and he's on YouTube and you see in your man that he's well-spoken, a man or male or female, but we talk about the man right now. Well-spoken, he knows what he's doing. He's building a platform. People are listening. The potential of him making money. You see the purpose in him, right? And then you're saying,
but what about me?
What about me? You always on YouTube. You always got others. Every time I look up, you on YouTube. You're a distraction.
You are a distraction, y'all. I'm sorry to tell you, ladies. I need for y'all to get a plan. I need for you all to sit down and talk to the men or however the situation is rolling. Find out how you fit in. And if you don't fit into that plan, find out what you can do to take care of that house, because we're talking about the Proverbs woman. Right. Now we're talking about the virtuous woman that goes out and brings it back. She goes out and brings it back. So if you're not fitting into the YouTube space, if you're not learning how to do all these things that Mr. Boss and Black Man do, and Black Man does it and talks, Mr. Boss doesn't, but he does it all and loves it. Listen, if I had to help him with that, I'd be like, look at here. We're going to have to do something different. Because I'm not even trying to learn it right. I'm too old to learn stuff like this right now. I don't want to do that. I just want to talk.
So that's the thing. When women say, I use the example, but it can be anything. I just use YouTube because that's what we're on right now. But you always on YouTube. Every time I look up, you always logging in. You always having conversations. You always doing it. Listen, ladies, if that's what it is, sit your ass down.
Tell them. Guess what? Go get in front of a dang on computer and participate.
Yes. Sit your ass down and just take a moment, breathe, and look and say, you know what? If he's this person, he's this intellectual person, he can speak well, he knows what he's doing. Let me sit down and just watch him work.
Yeah, and how about this? How about this? Oh, people paying him?
Yeah, what?
Baby, what can I do? Can I make the fire bigger? Can I make the fire bigger in the back?
But then you have women that say,
I think you look good with a red tie.
Come on. And you got some women that say, when you tell them that, they'll say, it ain't all about the money. It's deeper than that.
Whatever. Listen, we bringing it into the house. Women, y'all need to stop being distractions. Whatever. Because listen, if you in proper alignment and come on, y'all cannot. If the man is, wait a minute. Let me think about this one more time, because you said he's doing YouTube. That means he at home.
Yeah.
And you can see him.
Turn my camera off before I can holler. Oh!
you can watch him. That means he ain't out with no other woman. What is wrong with y'all?
Security boss, why be trying to tell them? Security boss.
What? No.
Tell them.
No, distracted, neglected. What? No. Y'all. I'm telling you, y'all wrong for that. No.
Especially if you're one of those women that ain't really giving your husband no coochie, ain't really being
no, see, I think that would be sexy though, to see your man in all that authority behind a microphone pushing buttons.
Oh. Security boss.
With the boom.
Oh.
Gosh. Come on. No, listen. Yeah, ladies. If I hear a neglected story by a grown woman, I'm upset, because y'all listen. Kids say stuff like that. I'm bored and neglected hang out together. No, no, grown folks don't do that. We don't do that. We got to find our place. We got to fit in. Listen, do something to help assist this man to make the life on YouTube, is just an example that we gave. Make it better. Because you know what? If you are in business for yourself, and we treat this as business, it requires money, y'all. It does. It requires money. So go get you a job at the mall if you need to. Whatever you need to do to occupy your time till you can get to a better place where you can be there with your husband.
Yeah.
And then y'all can be in sync with that purpose. What's wrong with that?
Or you know what? I'm real good with money. I'm good at accounting. I'm good with money. Let me go ahead and set up the funds right. Let me get these accounts right.
Oh, you letting them set up the funds?
Oh, come on. Let me get the account right. Let me see where the money's going. Oh, let me make sure my husband's not getting played with this money. Let me put some money over here, put some money over here. Let's start an IRA over here. Let's make some bit. Let's build a thing. But the more you add to the man, the more he grows. But
Oh my God, yes. Yeah, and listen, I'm gonna do one better for you. The more interest, more feminine interest and energy you put into him, the more masculine and manly he is.
Right.
Behind the mic.
Yeah.
Over there on the keyboards, pushing them buttons, making money. What? Come on, y'all. I don't want to hear nobody grown talking about they feel neglected. What you mean you feel neglected? You could have came and sit right beside me.
Yeah.
You could have made some noise in the background. Who knows?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Matter of fact, baby, I will do you a bigger favor. I'm gonna put a commercial in my show, and during commercial, while you sitting over there watching me work, bring me a cup of hot tea for my throat so I can keep moving forward and getting this money.
Oh, you ain't said nothing. What is wrong, ladies? If y'all talking about y'all feeling neglected because your man is working, I got to have more context, because right now I'm not feeling it. I'm y'all wrong. Y'all wrong. Now, I don't know the situation, but I do want men, if you're in an opportunity where you're working and you're on your purpose, I do want you to embrace your women and bring them into that so it can be yours or y'all's. I do. But ladies, if you sitting back, you watching the man and you just sitting back in the corner and done drew a line in the sand, talk about you feeling neglected, I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you.
And then the man, that's what I'm saying. The man is, listen to me. The man is in a room right in the house with you doing his work. Would you rather him be in the room doing the work or in the bedroom doing the work somewhere else? Come here.
That's what I'm saying. I'm sitting watching you now. I'm watching you do it. No, I'm coming in there. I'm busting up in there. I'm finna cause some chaos with the live or something. I'm doing something. It's gonna be funny. We're gonna enjoy this together. I am not gonna let you have it.
Right. And then
that was one of my husband's things. He was like, Lord Jesus, if I let you go, you're going to be just doing this and this, because I have a tendency to go overboard. Now, he's the perfectionist, but I'll just add y'all might not know that, but I like to add a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
So I'll be like, I can't even begin to tell y'all, but it works. We balance out each other now, but I always wanted to go all the way there. And he'd be like, no, it ain't necessary. I'd be like, but yes, it is, because I'm going to show up being me. Yeah. And if you allow me to do that, I'm gonna stay right here with you, and we're gonna be me. You're gonna be you, and I'm gonna be me, and we're gonna have this business. And so I always like that. It's always funny. But ladies, I'm mad at y'all. If y'all sitting back in the corner talking about you feel neglected and you over 30,
there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse than a man going up a hill trying to get to the top of it, but his wife got a chain in his back and she falling backwards. You got to let the man get what he and the more the man gets successful, the more that you get out of it. The more you get out of it. Like E-Man about to say, my brother E-Man finna say, you got to make time for your wife. You got to make time. Yes, you do. But that time's gonna come when you spend time doing what it is that your purpose is. The more money, baby. We ain't gotta go to Oklahoma. We can go to Bermuda. We ain't gotta come here.
Guess what? We ain't gotta stay at your mama house. We can stay in the Hilton.
Come on. That's what I'm talking about. Listen,
guess what else though? Guess what else? As time goes on, all that neglect you feeling, you could put that in the mall and you can go shopping, because I'm a shopper. So how about now? Mr. Boss be like, baby, where you going? To the mall, I'll be back. Neglect? What? No, I'm good.
And then if a man gets to a certain level, he gets to a certain level in his business, then maybe he can be able to sit down and everybody else will do the work. Come here. And then you can spend all the time you want with him. While he's in
talking about residual income. That's what I'm talking about. That's how, never neglected. But see, guess what though? Let's just be real about it. That's what you call a growing pain. Sometimes women, we go through growing pains because we just don't get it and we're being selfish. But if you're over 30 and you got a man that's trying to build a business that's going to take care of you and your family, I'm mad at you right now. That neglect stuff, you can't. Listen, I'm going to have to sign you up to my wife class starting in September. I'm just kidding about the class, but I'm seriously thinking about this because listen, we got to be grown-ups. We got to be grown. We have to be half of what we're building. We got to be wise women. What? We can't be silly like that. That's a silly woman backing up in the corner talking about I'm neglected. What? Neglected? What you mean? Mm-mm. And the man is at home. The man is in the house. She sees him. He knows where he's at
all times. He ain't in the streets. He right down the hall. Come on.
Listen, nah.
Oh
Listen,
my God.
If you're playing the video game, jump in there and learn how to play.
Yeah, what? You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. Is Jenny in the chat tonight? Jenny is one of the women that did that. Jenny said that one night.
Learn how to play, whatever. You know, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Why you putting a line in the sand talking about you feel neglected? My God, that's so no. Listen, read the book. Find out what husband you got. Learn his language. Become one with him, and then he can tell you exactly how you benefit him, and that's what you need to do. Listen,
first of all, Mr. Boss, if you got any marching music, any church music in the background, you can play because we definitely need to take up an offering right now for security, boss. Right now,
never neglected.
Come on, hey, get the debit cards out. What is? Come on,
money line.
Hey,
what you say, black man? Support.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah. No, y'all, I neglect. I'm not feeling that. We got to grow up. No, if your man and he's all about you too, you got to be all about him, and y'all got to have this conversation. But it should never be neglect. But E-Man, how you doing?
How y'all guys doing? Can y'all hear me fine?
Yes, sir. Where you been? I don't want to be in your business though. Can you give me a brief?
I just I'm that guy. I work 15 hours. COVID made me not be able to work. Not the sea made it where I couldn't work that way. But I'm getting back to what I do. So
okay.
See a man on his purpose. Come on.
But I think you guys are missing it. I think y'all missing it. So as a man, it is important that I make room for my wife. It's the reason I hired my wife. If a woman feels neglected, that means that you're doing a lot of things without her. I can stay on my purpose and invite her into my purpose. I think
That's what we saying.
Now I'm saying it's a mystery behind it that if she's feeling neglected, that means that you're doing your own thing and she's doing her own thing. So when I hired my wife, I said, "What you want to do?" You know, we was playing. I said, "Hey, you can wear on the booty shorts at work." You know, like we made it fun. Like we really made it like fun where she felt like she was getting quality time because I'm gonna work 16 hours a day. That's gonna happen. But if we're doing it together, now it's no neglect there because I included her in my purpose. So I get that you're trying to say that she got to find a way, but we actually as men should make a way for her. Like that's why I'm a strong advocate of men hiring their woman, giving them a job title. Like literally, like me and my wife is on paper. Like I pay like taxes. Like when she had this baby, we're gonna give her paternity leave. So it's really important that I think yes, we can say yes, men purpose is important. But your wife being in your purpose is just important, is what I'm saying.
So, E-Man, I feel like you're saying the same thing we're saying.
Yep, exactly.
Because an adult woman doesn't need permission to go up to her husband to say, "I need to be a part of this." She doesn't need to be drawing a line in the sand talking about I feel neglected. That's very immature.
Exactly.
Very immature. Because my husband and I are the same way. He's 51. I'm 49. You know, as far as our business goes, I'm over operations. He's still the chief, the CEO. You know. He's like you just said, he saw where I could be very beneficial in his business. But until we got to that place, I still found my way because you all still have to be in a good place in your purpose in order for you to say, well, you know what, I can bring you on and show you exactly what needs to be done. So you all had a conversation. Y'all see this time together. I got to tell you the truth about it. And I've said this many times. My husband and I have been working together for I don't know how many years. And we're together all day, every day. I say it all the time. But when I say stuff like that, people be like, men ain't got no time to be spending it all day with his wife. They don't get it. But I'm with my husband every day, all the time.
You're involving her in it. He's involving you in it.
know, and when I've never felt neglected, but in the beginning, he did not want to share his business because he, as a man, wanted to be purposeful by himself. But then and the reason I'm saying what I am saying
is because I cancel a lot of men.
Right.
And a lot of men tell me, hey, this is my thing. I don't want her to do this. I want her to do something else. And then when their wife starts saying they neglect it, everybody say, oh, it's the woman's fault. No, you already drew the line in the sand, said that she couldn't cross that line. She couldn't come over to your purpose. She couldn't come over to support your business. So I do think the little things, it's not like, because with my wife, it wasn't even about, when I was doing it, it was just I was going all the time. Because when we first started, it was just me. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, it's my thing, different things like that. That was just who I was.
Exactly.
But what I realized is that me being 18 hours away from her and not allowing her to have something like it could be something as simple as typing up one of our business letters.
Exactly.
When you include your wife into what you're doing, not only does she see the vision, she get on board. It's so many women that's going against their man is because they're not included, in my opinion.
No, I agree with you with that too. But hold that thought.
I agree.
Tracy Rubin, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says, SB Nation, I love you and your energy. Thank you. But E-Man, you're exactly right. But I just still think it's very immature for a grown woman to be in the background saying I'm neglected when she recognizes that she has a good man that is about being on his purpose. I'm not talking about a flake. I'm not talking about a man out there with several women or a man that's not dedicated to his marriage. I'm talking about a good man that is just focused at the moment. And all I may need to do is go, tap him on his shoulder and say, babe, can I work with you? And that's all it's going to take.
So a man can neglect his wife. So yes, if he worked 18 hours, that's one thing. But that 1 hour that she says her time, if he's not giving her that focus in that 1 hour or that 30 minutes that she said, hey, this is going to be our time once a week and one time, and you still doing something else, your mind is somewhere else, that's still a form of neglect. So I think at some point in time, we do as men, we got to be able to say, hey, check this out. This is family time. That's how, like, I got to at least give you something. Like, it's my responsibility to cultivate my marriage, because my marriage is going to be there way after this business goes. So right. I think we still got to have some cultivation. You can't say, I'm just going to ignore you for 10 years and then everything's going to be fine.
No, that's not it.
That's not what we're talking about. I'm saying that.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I say neglect, I'm going to go to my man and say, make me a part of it. Right. Before I say neglect, I'm going to go to him and say, I need to be a part of it. Right. Now, if he says no, then we may have an issue. But no, I'm seeing this man on his purpose. He's doing all the right things. Make me a part of it. He's going to make me a part of it. I can't see neglect. Yeah, I can't see neglect when you got a man because guess what? Can I get, is it late? What time is it? Listen,
go ahead.
There's sometimes there's a lot of time that you're putting into your wife. You understand what I mean by that? I'm keeping it PG, but y'all understand what I'm saying. And that pillow talk that comes after, all that could be worked out. I'm not going to complain. I can't see me complaining. I'm going to be saying, babe, I need something to do. Or I'm going to be going to get my own thing, because it does take a certain amount of maturity for a man to be on his purpose and him being that involved in doing what he needs to do. But guess what? Also, that's why a lot of times it's been said, God did it, that a man should have his purpose in place before he meets the woman, so she can fall in line versus him building at the time. Now, I didn't do that. I did it the way you're doing it. I'm just telling you, sometimes it's needed to be in order for certain women.
I think it's harder. I think it's harder. See, since me and my wife built it together,
exactly,
it is so easy for us to understand it. Like, she understands my work family lifestyle. But if I'm the type of person who built it before you, that line is already drawn. Like, exactly. This is established. I got a secretary to do that job that you're trying to do. Yeah. I don't need you for that.
I say that all the time. I tell my husband all the time, I could not have married a man that was 6 figures. No way. I couldn't fit. I would not fit. Black man, what were you getting ready to say, sir?
No. What I was going to say was, like, even that what makes, like, Jenny, I was bringing up Jenny earlier, and she went back and put in the chat. You don't have to go back and find it, but I have it right here. She says, when it came to, you said, if you playing the video game, get in there with him. One night, Jenny said this on a platform. She said, listen, I'm a gamer. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get that stick. And she just put it in here. She said, that Black Man Unfiltered, I keep those controllers charged and snacks when he plays on his downtime. She's there playing the game with him. She involves herself in everything that he's doing, so she won't be like, all you do is be on that PlayStation all day. No, she comes in and say, what we playing today? And she grabs that controller.
But we got to understand that at some time a point we got to do what she want to do too. Like I kind of get what y'all saying and say she need to include herself in my life, but I got to also include myself. And I'm not talking about a lot. I'm talking maybe an hour a week. Why can't I just focus on that woman? Why can't I put everything aside just to give her the attention in the way she wants to receive it? And I think that's building your relationship.
But if she's a part of you or your purpose already, like Security Boss and her husband doesn't have to say, you know, I'm gonna carve out an hour this week, because they're together 16 hours a day. So
all day, and even comes down to YouTube. He's doing YouTube because of me.
Right.
And he loves what he's doing, though. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So they both in it together.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So can he tell me literally this is for you? I'm just doing this for you. He wouldn't dare say that because he loves what he's doing. He loves the sound effects. He loves the electronics. So he can say, yeah, he loves that. Yeah. So he wouldn't dare say, babe, this is for you. I got something else I could be doing.
That works if y'all guys' purpose is going in the same direction. I'm talking about.
Oh, that's what we're talking about, though.
I'm saying when she got, you said, hey, sometimes you got to go out and find your own thing. When she's doing her own thing and he's doing his own thing too, what happened is y'all got to have a point that y'all come together, because if you don't, you guys are going to continue to grow apart, and eventually you're like, who is that person in the other room? You know, so I'm just saying that relationships are on purpose. It don't happen on accident. When we start seeing successful relationships like the bosses, I think y'all was on purpose in that journey. And so sometimes you gotta be like, you know what, money is important, but this hour I'm gonna not do this. I'm gonna sit, focus, and do something to really bring value to my relationship, because we invest in things that are valuable. So I'm saying invest in our relationship just like we're investing in our businesses.
Right.
Okay, so the thing that I heard you that I didn't hear you say is this: our relationship. I'm sorry. Hey, Bethany. Our relationship and our business were separate initially. Because remember, I said I came into the relationship. I was a worker. I was good being a worker. It didn't matter to me. But he gave me the vision of an entrepreneur. So then when he was always on his purpose to be one. So initially, him being in his businesses, I'm not going to say I wasn't interested, but whatever he wanted me to do, I did. But I then became an entrepreneur also when I started selling houses. So now I have the mindset. So in other words, I had to be kind of programmed. I had to be reprogrammed to think like he thought. Because see, I know you know, Emmanuel, because entrepreneurs think different. You know, if we don't work, we don't eat. So you got to work. You both have to have that same work ethic. So I can't be like, well, babe, let's go to wherever. I'm like, let me go make this deal, show this house. So guess what he did? He was with me. If it was late at night and I needed to show a house and meet a client, he was with me. That wasn't his business plan, but so in other words, it works out because we're still together and we're still operating as one, and we're both sacrificing, because now I'm an entrepreneur and I'm thinking differently, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to get it. I'm thinking just like my husband now has taught me to think. So then when the money comes, we put it in one pot, and now we're going on to the next business.
So I got a question. So do you think a woman with a corporate mind and a man with an entrepreneur mindset, do you think those two things can mix and come together?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, but it might be some pushback and some growing pains because, you know, like I said, when you're an entrepreneur, you got to get it on your own. Yep. When you're in a corporate world, you waiting on those paychecks to come every 2 weeks, and you're dependent on them. That's why I'm telling everybody, y'all understand the paychecks are good, but they're not necessarily a guarantee. So you still have to be under your husband's covering. Right. So I would always say to everybody, don't exceed what your husband can afford, because that corporate can take away from you very quickly.
Dearly beloved.
So
and a woman's voice is important as well, because I remember hearing this, but you know, a man can go out all day and Bethany can be the boss at the job and say, hey, listen, you're doing a great job, black man. You're doing a wonderful job. Security boss will be like, man, good job. But it's something about your wife or the person that you're in love with or going home to. that woman can destroy everything. She can tell you, she can speak something into you, and all that other stuff you got, you can when you got a raise, anything you want to, and that will break you down. I'm telling you, you
A
can see
woman
you.
can't break me, bro. I'm built different.
No,
I'm,
no, no.
I'm,
What I'm saying is, man, no. What I'm saying is, if you worked out, let me give you an example. Let me give a visual. If you worked all day and you came home from work and everybody at your job clapping, man, the Williams, this guy is the man. He can make you some money. And then you get home. I know your wife's not like this. She's very beautiful woman and a very intelligent woman. But when you went home and your wife tells you, your ass been at work all day. I don't give a damn about what they told you at your job. Your ass need to be here. All them 16 hours and all that 8 hours. I'm not doing
that
it.
shit down. I'm shutting it down at the fucking door. And let me tell you right
Right
now.
away.
See, the reason that I'll tell you right now. If you come home and you got that, you better stop it the first time
Don't
you
even
heard
get out
it.
the car. Don't even get out the car. No.
Wait a minute. I want to wait a minute, E-Man.
How you
You
shut
got
it
mad.
down.
You snap real quick. Your nose start flaring up. You got mad.
No.
No, for real. Like I really believe women only do what we allow them to do. And if she's talking off like that to you, man, you let that happen. Now I'm trying to change. See, I'm trying not to be that guy.
That happened
You know
before.
what I'm saying? I'm telling you, but it's no way in hell I'm gonna come home to a house that I pay the bills and you gonna tell me ain't shit?
No,
Nah, it ain't gonna work like that.
It don't. I'm telling you, it don't. It does not. Listen, it does not. Mr. Cash, Larry Cash says there's no guarantee in being a business owner either, because this world, this life is fleeing. But listen here, Mr. Cash, you can really depend on yourself versus other people. I ain't gonna say nothing crazy, but anyway, you can make so I can go out and look. I got enough lawn equipment. I can go out and mow some grass and get some money. But
I want to say this because Security Boss hit on something. So I'm in sales and I was selling a product for a company, and I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars that this company owes me, right? And all of a sudden they filed bankruptcy, and what they did is they just changed the name of the company, and they said, hey, we owe 18.5 million to our sales team, and they just decided not to pay us. So it is real when you're working for somebody else.
it's so real.
They do not have to pay you, man. I'm telling you,
But listen, though,
real.
look how many people. This is honest. I need you all in the chat to put a 1 if y'all didn't know that, because I really think we go to work and we're gonna get paid. But I need y'all to put a 1 in the chat who actually knew that your company that you work for does not have to pay you.
Wow.
They can shut it down and you get nothing. Of course, you can sue them, you can do whatever, but all in what name they shut it down in is what the agreement is. If they shut it down due to a Chapter 11, they don't have to pay jack. Y'all can go 50 cents. Y'all got a check downstairs for 50 cents. So if you didn't know, you've been blessed tonight. I'm telling you. So
and even
be mindful and don't put all your energy. I can't say don't put all your energy because I want you to be your best wherever you are. But know that there's no guarantee when working for someone else or with an establishment. It's not. Oh, Larry, I'm agreeing with you that because I could go outside right now and it'd be over for me. But I can deal with that.
So
I believe T-Shaw just said, what did she say? T-Shaw said, black man, you are correct. There are women out there just that does that. What E-Man was just reacting to.
What that does that when you come home to talk to you like that?
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine it, man. I think I couldn't even imagine it.
I can't imagine either. Let's get Bethany in here. But Larry Cash, you're exactly right. I put my faith in God too. But that's the end of it. And like I said, if I go out here today and that's the last day or I'm done, I'm good with that. I'm all right with that. But guess what? It's devastating to be working for somebody else for 2 weeks, 50 hours, 60 hours, 16 hours a day, like E-Man just said. And when you go to work to get paid and you got to pay your mortgage and you got to do all that, and they tell you, nah, actually you can't even call them because all the numbers have changed and there's a note. Did they leave a note on the door?
No, they lived it on the website.
See that? No. See, that's devastating because you was waiting on that money. That's a little different. And that's what you call desperation. This is what y'all have heard of going postal, right? That's what it's all about right there. That's going.
Oh, yeah. That happened to me. That happened to me one time in my entire life where I went to work and I went to get my money and there was a letter on the door. And everybody standing outside waiting on their money. And there was a letter on the door that says that we are no longer in business. We have filed bankruptcy. Good luck to everyone.
Y'all guys are talking about 2 weeks. This was a 9 months. I mean 9 months without pay. So I get I get y'all talking about 2 weeks because the product we sold was residual in nature. So
I
we
got
sold it one time and we supposed to got paid over and over and over for our past sales. I made over 7,000 sales as a team for this company. So we talking thousands and thousands of
Listen,
dollars.
listen, I just can't. I mean, I can't even tell you. Even when we was in the recession, the last one, how many times you get to the closing table and the people tell you the closing ain't gonna happen, and these people can't buy their houses. But we ain't gonna talk about that, all right? Because it was devastating to them. I mean, I was gonna make my money too, but I was gonna make my money regardless because I already had the paperwork that said I made my money. But to know you think you're getting ready to buy a house, and then you to that day. And then the bank just told you, nah, we done, the bank is closing down and now you can't buy that house. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't understand. I'm saying I'm with Larry. Let's put our faith into Christ and note that this thing can change in a drop of a dime. So, Miss Bethany, how you doing today? Can you hear me?
I'm doing fine. How are
Good,
you?
good. What happened to
hear
my
you.
waves and my what happened?
It's pulled back in a ponytail. I worked out
Oh,
today.
okay.
So
Well,
pardon my
it's
appearance.
totally over after a workout. I get it. What you got to add to this, ma'am? Totally go.
Well, you know, I work for my husband, and it's so funny because I was in the corporate world prior to us getting married. And so y'all just really spoke to me when you're like, you got to get on his program. And my husband travels for work sometimes. But after we got married and had the kids, he tried to be more home and just taking clients that are here in the Texas area, or we travel with him. So it is one of those things where a man can do that workaround if he's able to. Like, hey, I want my family with me. Now, in his industry, he's in television production. He has friends that are on the road nonstop. Like, don't care to go home, wife and kids. The kids are a little older, but it's just not a rush. My husband made the family a priority, but also kept making his money.
Mm-hmm.
So when I tell people, well, I homeschooled through the pandemic. Well, guess what? My husband worked hard. He was like, look, we've been home through this pandemic. Come March, which was 2 months ago, we went to, where did we go? We went to Maui, Hawaii for a week. And then we went to Park City, Utah to ski and snowboard. That was the payoff for the hard work. And just, he was like, babe, you held it down while I was grinding. I appreciate that. We're going on a family vacation. That's the kind of things you have to do. It's a give and take, I think, in that regard to being married to an entrepreneur.
So was you sitting back in the corner talking about you felt neglected?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, were you sitting back in the corner talking about you felt neglected?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. These kids were keeping me busy. I knew my man was out there getting it. And it's funny because I made sure it was a peaceful home. So he was out working late. I'm like, did they feed y'all dinner? Yeah. What did you eat today? What do you want when you get home?
So can I ask?
Yeah, I can't. Now, I had to learn because I had to learn early, though, when we had newborns, because we have a 3 and a 6-year-old. So I was a nursing mom. I'm home all day with the kids. So I did feel like I have no outlet. Like, I'm here all day. You're going to work. So that was, we butted heads over that. That was a big deal for me. But he was like, look, we agreed if he had a job, he had to like prepare equipment and stuff. So I gave him 24 hours before he has to go to work. I don't put him on, I don't say, can you bathe the kids? Can you change diapers? I don't ask him to do that. If he's available, he will do it willingly. I never have to ask my husband to do something. But it's not, I don't have that expectation of him.
So
go ahead.
I got a question for the whole panel. I just got a question because you said something important. Do you believe a man that is altering his work schedule for his family can really compete with the best out there?
Nope.
Well, I want to ask her because
well, okay.
The reason I asked that question is because,
it depends. It depends.
So, do you think he's competing effectively with his co-workers that are on the road all the time? Do you think that he's because the whole goal, especially in certain careers, is to level up, to go to the next level. And when you start making sacrifices for your family, you got to understand the people that make decisions says, hey, this person can go to the next level. We got to send him and 5 people compared to sending this guy by himself. So my question is, do you think that it give him a a competitive advantage having a family, or you think that it give them a disadvantage of having a family based off your situation?
It wasn't a disadvantage because he controls. He says yay and nay to certain clients. So it's up to him. Now, if you're saying, hey, I want to meet this certain milestone in my career, or making this much, making that much, you could say yes. But he has built his company up enough to where he has certain big clients he caters to. Certain smaller clients he could say no to. I don't have to go on this 3-day gig in Park City, Utah. I don't have to take that. I can come home because we have a safety net. So it's like, hey, no, I don't have to take that job. I could take jobs coming. It's a decision. So it really depends on really what's in it for him. It's not he's not taking every
I'm trying to understand what's
single
the
job
ceiling.
just because he's available.
No, what I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out what's the ceiling, because for me, for example, I just have an understanding of my wife. If I have to leave for 5 days, that's just part of it is, because I want to compete with everybody because I got to be the best.
Correct.
I like it's something in the competitive version of me that I don't like people beating me. It mentally messes with me. So that's why I was just trying to get an understanding more.
I don't to add to that, I don't know what the ceiling is. Her husband was had to have been very intentional because he decided to have 2 kids. So he knew that was going to be somewhat of a sacrifice of his income for a minute or what have you, or either he has already set up things residually to take place of that for a time. So there had to be something in place. He's a grown man. He's smart enough to know that and has been in the business long enough to know that. So that may have been his decision. And E-Man, that would be the same thing that you do. You have to make a decision where you want to go. And whatever it is you want to do, you residually set it up to that you can do that and not miss out. And then when it's time to go back to it full flow again, then you're ready to do it. So you still won't miss out, however far you want to go with it. But but listen, guys.
Well, and then my husband.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I'm gonna read the question after you're done.
Well, okay. And then my husband, he did the grind already. So, because my husband's older, so later on in life, he was like, he's been married before, whatever, that didn't work out. So second time around, he was like, no, it was intentional. I'm a family man. I have a young son that my son needs to see his dad. It can't be daddy on the road without his family all the time. It's not worth it. Let's say that. So all money ain't good money. And he was smart enough to know, okay, I can work with this client. I can bring my family along and keep the grind going. Hence is why I stay home and why we're able to be on the road with him sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, babe, I really don't want to go to New Orleans for these few days. Now that we're, the boys are older, I'm like, we're going to stay home. We got soccer practice, music lessons. He's like, okay, cool. But those first few years are kind of very intentional of what jobs he took. And most jobs he took were kind of local, so it wasn't a big sacrifice. I don't want to put it out there like he was just sitting at home not doing nothing. Absolutely not. If we could go with him, we would travel with him.
Let me answer this question for D. Nicole. It says, SB, what advice would you give to those that aren't fortunate enough to become entrepreneurs? Those that have to work in the corporate world? Listen, even though that you may not be an entrepreneur, you can still set yourself up the same way while you can. You can still make investments. I would say invest your money so you can build some kind of residual income just in case something does happen. You'll still have a flow of money coming in. You got to do it because corporate world, is just, you cannot rely on it. And especially when we're in such inflation in the way that we live right now, the way the economy is going up and down, you have to start setting money aside. So you can't live out all your money. You have to live very conservatively so you can put something back so it can pay you just in case you don't get paid. And that's the ultimate goal for a person who's in business for themselves also. Now, also New Growth made a comment earlier about even people who are entrepreneurs, it happens to them too. New Growth, you need to pick a better client. You got to pick a better client. If you're working for people that don't pay you, you ain't doing, that's bad client. And also for you must set aside some cash flow. Any business owner has to have cash flow because your people that work for you must get paid even if you don't. But first and foremost, you got to do some research on your clients. If it's any inkling that they're not going to pay you, I'm not talking about closing down. I'm talking get you some city clients or some state clients. Get some clients with some initials in front and at the end of their title, because you cannot work for people that won't pay you. You can't do that. So you got to definitely search for good business. That's terrible. Yes, E-Man?
I just want to say something to that last question you had.
Okay.
Everybody in the United States of America is fortunate enough to be an entrepreneur. Now,
Yeah.
I can't speak for every other country, but if you live in this, I don't care if you working at McDonald's, you are fortunate enough to be an entrepreneur in the United States of America. And if you understand how our taxes work, you would make, even if your business doesn't make any money, you will make money just because you had opened up an LLC if you're doing your write-offs right. I'm not gonna go into details about that, but everybody's fortunate now. It's a mindset. It's mentally. If you think you live in the United States, you can, I don't care if you walking around pressure washing houses. I know a guy who make $100,000 going around pressure washing houses. I'm telling you, it's a very basic level skill that you can go and make into a business if you really want to put that work ethic in.
So listen, Sunflower said, hello, how are you? She says, we as Blacks struggle in financial literacy though. Yeah, we do. But guess what? Just ask somebody, like he said, you can create a business, but you can also have these investments, because of what I know about corporate, they pay you pretty good and you have all types of benefits. You have to turn that around. You can't spend all your money. You just can't spend everything. You just can't. Mr. Cash said he worked at McDonald's. Listen, do the work and become the boss. I hear that McDonald's University is a very good place to go and you can learn a lot. So push it, be the one. If you're going to spend 8 hours at work, make it your best 8 hours. Make it your best. Don't cut corners. But listen, Mr. Life, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. How are you all doing?
Doing good. It's good to see you today.
Yeah. I figured that I'd join you. I thought that Monday is a good time for me to get on, outside of work. I hear you all talking about working here. And I am a former, I ran a company for about 7-8 years, and I lost that during the downturn inside 2008. I told that story last week, and I am a full-blown employee right now. But what I did was I went to the sales side, and I do business to business sales. Why did I choose that? Because it gave me the best of both worlds. I got people paying me a very high salary, right? I can get commissions and bonuses if I want to that much, just have to work harder to get it. And I choose my own schedule. And I thought that was the best thing for me at that point in time, because I can literally, I go to the gym about 7 o'clock. I might start work about 10 and I might be home by 3. And that's my day. And I have about a 2-hour lunch in there somewhere too at the same time too. I do that with a client every now and then. But the thing is about networking, getting and setting goals and making sure that you have your vision in place. Second thing that I did is I tell everybody, if you are in a profession, you need to find a side hustle that goes along inside your profession. I.e., when I ran a mortgage company, I flipped homes because that was a natural transgression. That was something that was there. Now I work in healthcare, so I have another little side hustle that I do that's inside healthcare as well, where I help people find homes at the same time. So while I'm doing my day-to-day job, I'm still actually making side income from my own business at the same time, and not taking out any other time out of my day to do it at the same. So I thought, hey, I just wanted to pour that out there as well.
So can I ask you
just before, I really want to thank you for letting me go. I have to go. Just being on this panel with you is such a blessing to hear your voice and those sound effects that Mr. Boss. I love you guys, and y'all guys make sure you like and subscribe, and let me hear that money sound before I leave. Talk to you guys later, okay?
All right, man. There you go, man. That's all we giving you tonight. So listen, Mr. Life, are you a married man?
Yes, I am a married man.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Go for it. That's why I'm here.
You've been married a long time, you said too, I remember, right?
5 years. 5 years. I've been with my wife 10 years, 6 years.
So this may not apply to you, but we're going to go back to the original question, because I want to get different aspects of it from different men. And the question was, should a married man put his purpose before his wife? Do you recall having?
That's why I came on.
Okay, yeah. Okay, well, good. I'm going to let you answer the question. I'm not going to talk for you anymore. Go ahead, sir. Tell us what you think about that.
Yes. Undoubtedly, yes, he should put his purpose first.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can give you my personal story about that.
Yes, sir.
And I always talk about the driving a car whole analogy, right? If you put your marriage and your wife first, it's like you driving the car and you're staring at your wife. She's going to feel uncomfortable because you're not looking at the road. And whatever is down the road is your purpose. So you need to fix your eyes down the road and steadily and have her by your side as you go down the road. And I think that's the thing. So your purpose and where you're going has to be your key focus and vision with her by your side. It got to be there. And my personal story is I put too much pressure on my wife's hips than on my shoulders when I made her my purpose. Because now she had to perform at a certain level because there was expectations, because me as a man, if I give out, it's like a man's nature. If he gives any form of output, it's got to be some input in. So then it was extra applied expectations on her because I was doing so much inside the relationship to where she thought that she had to live up to a certain caliber of woman to actually meet those needs that I was giving into her. So I always make great money, but when I took my eyes off of her and the money and put it on my purpose and going back to actually help building men, she jumped on the side of this. My wife does more for our show than anybody that actually works inside my network. She is the CEO, and she jumped on it. She's head over heels getting everything done for me, from a thumbnails to setting up everything. She does all the software. She does everything for me. And that made our relationship 100 times better because now with me walking inside my purpose, her goal is to be a helpmeet, and she helping me build that particular vision and purpose. So I definitely tell you, it helps the marriage if the man does it the right way. But yeah, he got to put his vision. He has to be focused on his vision first.
Okay, so listen.
It still sound like we're saying the same thing.
Yes, I think I'm asking the question the wrong way. I'm feeling like I'm asking the question the wrong way too. What happened? Okay. Okay, Bolo. Well, we're gonna have to just. But before Bolo, how are you? Before I want to say hello. But Black man, I feel like we asking the question the wrong way because everybody starts off differently, but it seems like we end up the same.
Right.
So because I agree with what he said, but he said it in a way that he puts his purpose first, but then he says his wife is helping him with his purpose. And so I'm
right. And so he has a purpose. He has a purpose
already.
Right. But then the purpose did not take off until his wife
came. Yeah.
See,
so how would that make the purpose more important than
right.
Bolo, shed some light, brother. How are you?
Hold on, real quick, because like he said, the analogy about the car, which I loved it. I hope he comes back. But the analogy with the car, you don't have to stare at your wife.
No.
When you're walking down the road, because then your purpose is you're getting where you're going. All you want to feel is her hold your hand. Come here, so I can watch the road. I can feel her hold my hand. I can feel her just enough to hold my hand and know that she's there. But I'm gonna focus on that road. I'm gonna keep moving forward. And just because she's there, everything is better. Women
might drive faster.
Come on.
But wait a minute. This is something too. Unknown. Thank you for this way. The question is the purpose solo or joint? No, I don't know about that. We already know it's joint. Ultimately, because you took on a wife, it has to be joint. Exactly. But it was given to you solo, and then it became joint.
Exactly.
Hi. I think we're confusing ourselves. Y'all just love each other. No, I'm just kidding. Let's do this for E-Man, and then we're gonna get Bolo's thoughts on it, because Bolo might can clear this up for us. Thanks, E-Man. He says, love you guys. Have a good night. You get the money line.
Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Money line.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. So listen, Larry Cash says semantics. And the reason why I'm saying it's not is because I've heard men say that their women are a distraction because they're on their purpose. And I'm saying, no way should the woman that you chose be a distraction in any way, just like she can't be neglected or feel neglected. There's no way she should be a distraction if you chose to marry her. Now, if you chose to marry her at the incorrect time, then that's one thing. But if you went through with it, then no way should you not be using her. Does that sound right? Using her, including her, and have her be an asset to your business. So, all right. Yo, Peppy. So Bolo, can you help us with this, sir?
Oh, first, let me say hello to SB and Mr. Boss. Black man, would it be, my brother?
What's going on? What it is and what it will be? What's going on?
Well, man, I can't call it, man. Trying to get from here to there. I think it's semantics of what you guys are saying, right? I think that if
Maybe.
the man has a purpose, right? This is how I do it. I use a similar narrative, kind of like a minivan, and I'm in the minivan, and no man wants to be by himself on this road. No man. But if he has to be by himself, he will be. He wants
minivan. Okay.
right? So not only am I focused on that road, but I got her helping me, right? Because I can't see everything. And you need to understand, with me scanning the road, looking around, I'm making quick decisions that I can't really focus in on. And if she's looking a lot more different than me, because she can focus on different situations. Like I said before, with men, our vision is in general. Because we wear so many hats, we have to see things coming from upside. We need to be on top of that mountain and see things coming from a mile away.
Right.
Women's vision is more specific. They see things closer, and because they're your right-hand man, they can tap you and tell you to focus on this and to focus on that, because they're focused on the small things, as we're focused on the big things, right?
Okay.
So if you have your woman in your purpose, then all she's going to do is be there to be that pillar of rest, not that pillar of stress, to propel you and be that propulsion to give you that strength when you don't have it, or to make you even stronger. When a good man has a good woman by his side, there ain't nothing he can't do. There's nothing he can't do. I'll give you an example of that. Let's say if your bed game is trash and your woman said, man, you tore it down last night. That man gonna feel like a king. He gonna feel like a king just because of her words.
Yep.
And what if she says, man, you was trash? His whole self-esteem is destroyed.
I said that earlier.
This is why I say femininity and masculinity at its core is meant to work together.
Yep.
So when you're patient and you meet that woman that's supposed to be yours and you're supposed to be his, and y'all lock horns and y'all focus is the most high. And this is another thing, right? When you're focused, when a couple meets each other and your love is only about you two, there's your ceiling. Your ceiling is right there. When your focus and your love is greater than you, then nothing can stop you. We're always focused. No matter if we lose that house, no matter if we go bankrupt. If the focus is just about you two, then if something happens, God forbid she cheats, you cheat, because you don't have something bigger wrapped around you, because you don't have something more broader than you, that strength that you're looking for gets broken. It's sort of like an ego, right? An ego is something that's external, a car, your clothes, your woman. But your confidence can never be taken. It can be shattered, but it can never be taken because it's something that generates from inside. It's internal. So your faith generates and fuels your confidence. You messed up. Where did you mess up? Let me get that right. And you keep it pushing. It's the same thing in relationships that we deal with too. So if a man is on his goal, well, here's the perfect example, Mr. Boss and you.
We've been trying to make sure we are saying it correctly, and I think we're all saying the same thing. But that's how it began. We were saying some people were saying that their wives are a distraction, taking them away from their purpose. And we were like, I'm trying to figure out what is the best course of action, or could that really be true?
Well, black men ain't gonna like this answer. The only reason why your wife is a distraction is because you made her one. The only reason why she's a distraction is because you made her one. It's easy to point blame on everyone else but looking in the mirror. And that goes for both the woman too. Your job is to make sure that your man is good mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, that he is good, that you are doing everything in your power to uplift him. Your man comes before anybody. I hate when people say, you hear women, my children come before everybody. No, they don't. Before your children. Because guess what? When your children grow up and leave, guess who you stuck with?
Come on.
That dude. So he comes before anything and everything. So all you women that are saying I live for my children, no. We understand that there's a certain point where the relationship kind of stops because you have babies, right? So everything is focused around them. But it never, the foundation of your relationship never changes. I don't put my children before my wife. My wife is before my children. Period.
Right. And Bolo, you know what? I always say that, Bolo. So
Yeah,
we can agree on that. I always say that the children are part of the family, but they're not a part of the marriage.
And this is what I'll say.
Absolutely.
And this is going to crush me, and it's bringing chills to tell you this. When I lost my mom and I saw my father, and my brothers and I are talking about what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and they're arguing about everything. I said, guys, you need to understand, we lost our mother. That man lost his world. Crushed. And that's the relationship you ought to have with your wife. Bone of your bone, flesh of your flesh. That's the relationship you're looking for. Not some fly-by-night garbage. Not no thought. Not no dusty dude. Someone that you can sit there and say, Ma, I'm locked up, and this is my last dollar. I know you know what you're going to do with it. She ain't going to just run off and do whatever. This is someone you got to risk your life for and put your life in her hands and vice versa.
And that's
this
what I want.
Is the relationship we should be fighting for.
And that's what I want to say to you, Bolo. Again, going back to, like you said, again, I may not like it, but I agree, because I grew up watching this, and I seen her stories from Grandma. And Grandma said, those women back then, they were built. This was already built in them. This was a part of who they are.
Absolutely.
And so my grandfather would go work in Alaska, right? Because he did pipelining. So he would go to Alaska in the 60s and go do pipelining, and he would be there for 4 months without my grandmother. And he would send all the money home to my grandmother. My grandmother would buy rental property. She would buy land. She would, and when he comes home, he had something to come home to.
You know,
right? She didn't take the money and run off with the money. And when he got there, they made up the time that he was gone for those 4 months. He spent time with her. He spent time with the kids. Because on the pipeline, you get off for 3 months, you're on for 4 or 5, whatever. So he spent time with his girls and with his wife. And even when he came home, he was making that kind of money. He still would go out and do side jobs to make more money.
Right. And that's the thing that I think that we lose a lot of. And what you just said was so important. That example, the building blocks of what Black man's grandparents had was God.
Yep, exactly.
That was the building.
I think that's where we started, Bolo. I don't think you were here in the beginning, but I think that's what Black men. Actually, it is Black man. What you started, you said we're now doing it in the name of something else or nobody's. Right. No principle.
And it's the thing. See, when you make him your all, because we have to understand something. The scripture says, let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Serve God. That is the conclusion. God doesn't care if you're a good husband, if you're a good mother, good wife. But see, if you're a good husband and good wife in the name of God, that's different. Because glory is not about you. Glory is given to him. The reason why I'm still here is because of him, not because of my pride, not because of ego. And this is what people don't understand. The difference between me giving money and me giving money for God is I didn't do it for me, so I don't seek the glory. I'm not going to sit here and put it on my website that I gave $400,000. Nah, the Lord knows I gave it. So that's all glory I need. And that's the difference. So Black man's grandparents, their foundation was built on stone.
Everything was God, brother. And they were married for 63 years before he passed away.
Ooh, 63 years.
63 years before he passed away. And when he passed away, man, let me tell you something, brother. I got you talking about chills with your dad. Let me tell you what happened to me. I went to my grandfather's funeral and I sat there and I watched everybody cry. The funeral was packed. I mean, it was out the door because he was a great man. And so at the funeral, everybody went to view the body, and then my grandmother got up to view the body. And my grandmother walked to the casket, brother. And I used to get emotional about this, but I'm strong enough to tell it now. She walked up to the casket. My brother and I, whereas he was on one side, I was on the other. And she walked up to the casket, and these are the words that she said. She went down in her little pouch and she pulled something out. And I was like, what is she doing? And she lifted up his hand and she said, there will never be another you. And she said, until death do us part, but you'll always have my heart. And she slid the wedding band on his finger in the casket.
Let me ask you a question.
Dude, everybody there went out. People was just, it was crying, it was screaming, it was just a moment where everybody just, it was, man, I can't even talk about it hardly. But yeah, it was just amazing, brother.
Black man, is your grandmother still with us?
Yeah, she's 89 years old.
Whew.
How long ago did your grandfather pass?
12 years ago.
Wow.
That's
an
amazing story right there. That's amazing.
It's like taking two, lovebirds, and people know about lovebirds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lovebirds, they sing. And up here in New York, you have like in Queens, you have a lot of Indian people. What they'll do is they'll take the lovebirds, but they'll put them in separate cages. They won't put them in the same cage.
Right.
Because everyone knows that once you put them in the same cage and you separate them, they never sing again.
Right.
Never sing again. So they'll put them in two cages real close to each other, and they'll chirp and sing and do whatever, and then they'll separate them. Once that sever is connected, she lost her world, man. His grandmother lost her world.
Yep.
So now listen, man, I seen a man. It's no joke. It's no joke.
Yeah, and you know what? Now my grandmother's sharing that love, that love that she had with him. My grandmother's 89 years old. She's turned into a foster. She's took that big old house that they built together, and she's turned it into a foster house. She's taking in kids every day, and she's 89 every day. Infants to 13-year-olds to 14 every day. She got a house full of them, and she's adopted damn near 12% of them.
You know why?
Yes.
That Christ that's in her, she's spreading it to the world.
Yep.
So listen, guys, this has been a wonderful way to end this. But guess what? I've been sneezing my head off just in case y'all didn't notice.
Yeah, bless you. I'm sorry, honey. I meant to say bless you 3 times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't stop. I can't stop. So we got one super chat that we need to to go through. Yeah, and then we're going to end the show. Bolo, thank you so much. I think that we came to conclusions that we all are saying the same thing. And I appreciate it. And Black Man, I love the story. Chat, I absolutely love what you all have brought to the table tonight. This conversation is good. And Black Man, it seems like we need to have this conversation a little bit longer.
Yes.
But for some reason, I can't stop sneezing. I feel like it's coming down. Go ahead and do the super chat for me.
Yeah, I got you. From Larry Cash. Thank you so much, Larry Cash, for your $10 super chat. It says many are the plans in the mind of a man, in the plans of the mind of a man. But it is the purpose of the Lord that will stand. I knew that scripture. I don't know why I didn't click. Proverbs 19:21. Repent and believe. Thank you again for your interaction, Mr. and Mrs. Security Boss. Much respect.
You get the money line, so.
Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah.
All right, guys, listen. It has been an outstanding show. Thank y'all so much for being here. Remember, Friday afternoon at 4 p.m., I will be back. Make sure you're enjoying the show. It's going to be an excellent show. I'm not telling y'all what I'm talking about right now, but 4 o'clock on Friday, I will be here. Also, go over to the channel and check out SB Gear. Come on, Black Man already told y'all earlier today. So make sure y'all do that and continue to support myself, Security Boss Unsolicited, and Black Man Unfiltered. What you going to say, Black Man? Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, guys, tomorrow on Black Man Unfiltered Network, make sure you come over tomorrow. Go subscribe and like now. Hit the notification button because tomorrow we're going to have a panel full of Black women and the top.
And I'm sorry for that.
The Black woman. We're going to ask questions. We're going to figure out what it is that makes these Black women tick. So that's tomorrow at 8:30 Central Standard Time.
Black Man, say that again. You broke up. Say it again.
Understanding the Black woman on Black Men Unfiltered Network tomorrow. Make sure you go like and subscribe, hit that notification button. We're going to be talking about understanding the Black woman, asking those questions that make these women tick so men can better understand them.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Don't forget, turn those notification bells on and all the alerts. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Black Man Unfiltered and Security Boss Unsolicited. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night and also on Friday. Y'all have a good rest of the week. We'll see you soon.
Even though you're screaming out with the best of intentions, I don't get it. Why do you always gotta ask me to stay? Why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. Say, why you always gotta go? Playing house, this ain't a home with your soul on the road. See, I've been lost in my thoughts, and my thoughts they too scared to usher off. Sorry, Mom, I just thought you were my world. Now you're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, cause my days ain't been the same since I drove your away. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my to death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reason, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on